Welcome to our second installment of Coffee with Callisto. I'm here today with Hannah Moses, the cellist of our quartet, and we're going to get to know her a little bit better. So can you start by just telling us a little about yourself?
My name is Hannah. I play cello in the Callisto Quartet. I'm originally from Stowe, Ohio, which is sort of about an hour outside of Cleveland, Ohio. And I grew up in a musical family. My mom is a violinist and actually runs her own music program. So I grew up as a baby listening to music and violin in the house all the time. The story in my family goes that I really wanted to play violin and my mom would not let me because there were too many violins in the house already, so she started me on cello.
Nice. So when did you know that you wanted to be in a quartet?
That's a really good question. I think I was really lucky when I was younger to be able to play a lot of chamber music from like a really early age. So I barely remember the first quartets that I was in. I think I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. An experience that I do remember was probably one of my first very serious summer quartet experiences. It was actually at the Credo Chamber Music Festival, which we now teach at, which is kind of cool.
I also went through that.
Yeah. And I think I was 12 at the time, and I got put in a group with some older kids who were better than me, and we were playing Beethoven Opus 59 number 1.
Oh dear. I don't even want to play that
No.
now.
Yeah, as a 12-year-old, I remember like getting the music beforehand and like practicing it, and I was like, I don't even know how to do this. Like, I can't count this. I can't play this. I don't know what fingerings to do. It was probably my first really challenging piece of music that was like way too hard for me.
Yeah.
And it's still probably too hard for me. But I remember the satisfaction of like learning my part super, super well, and then like getting there and rehearsing with the group. And in the end, we ended up performing, I think, almost the entire thing.
Oh wow.
So that was like a
impressive.
really cool experience. I just loved it, loved the piece. Yeah, so that was a pivotal moment, I think.
I guess you stuck with it. So what are some specific challenges or perks of your role as a cellist in a quartet?
I think quartet playing, tell me if you agree with this, like quartet playing for your instrument seems to be a lot different than like solo playing for your instrument.
Oh yeah.
And the way that you like practice it, and even the things that you have to practice are like extremely different. And I feel like that's something that I really had to learn like in the quartet. And I think like for cello, a lot of the challenges are like, you know, there's 2 violins and viola in the quartet, and you guys all have like pretty similar like stuff, like similar instruments.
Right.
You talk about like similar fingering, similar ways to like make various articulations and like bowings that work for you, and a lot of times those things just like don't work on cello.
Yep.
And so like, you know, I feel like you guys can like tell me if there's a certain articulation or a certain sound that you want me to make, but the way that I have to figure out how to do it might be like completely different than anyone else in the quartet.
One of the questions that I know we get asked a lot as a quartet is how we divide up administrative tasks. And certainly we do this by delegation. But what are some specific tasks you handle, or what's kind of your role administratively?
Well, I think we do kind of a good job as a group at like kind of just distributing tasks as they come up.
It's the only way.
It's really the only way to like keep everything going. There are a couple like odd tasks that I have that I kind of like when we go on road trips back when we used to travel, I am the driver.
You are.
And I really like being the driver. And also recently for this bar talk cycle, and before then too, but like more intensely here, I've been sort of the designated program note writer. And I really like doing that. That's a super fun task for me. So that's something that I really enjoy. Other than that, I handle like some boring stuff too. Like I think I have all the bank information. And
Right.
I like do the like contracts and law stuff. And if we ever need to consult a lawyer, I like have a lawyer that we call.
That's true. You got the boring stuff.
It's kind of boring, but have all the power.
It's necessary.
Also. Yeah.
You do control the money.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
What are some pieces or passages in our quartet repertoire that make you the most nervous to play?
Oh man. Well, this is kind of funny because I feel like this is a piece that we play a lot and we know it really well, but I still get really nervous before we perform Beethoven 59 too. It's just like it's one of those pieces that no matter how many times you play it, it like never feels comfortable.
Every movement.
So even though that's like one of our favorite pieces to play and we play it a lot and I love it, it's definitely one of the scariest for me.
Yeah, for sure. Is there one thing you could say that keeps you motivated or inspired, musically or otherwise, to, you know, keep pursuing this and keep working so hard?
I think that's obviously a question like we've all had during the pandemic,
sure.
I know a lot of people have had. It's just like a really hard time to stay motivated. And in that sense, like I feel really lucky to have the quartet. Because
for sure.
like, you know, we talk about like, you know, being isolated. If you don't have like people to be making music with and people to like keep you inspired and keep you going, it would be extremely hard. So I think even the times in the pandemic when we all felt pretty unmotivated, like just the daily act of like getting together to rehearse, and even if we like didn't rehearse very much and ended up just playing a game or something, it was like just that like little, everybody's doing it, you know, we're all putting in as much effort as we can do and kind of drawing that inspiration from your colleagues. So even like when you can't give 100% of yourself, like other people are there also like pushing and trying to give as much as they can. So very like fortunate to have the quartet during those times.
Oh yeah, that's a great answer. I was just thinking, we had this rehearsal on a piano quintet the other day, and our pianist said he essentially has not played chamber music for a year. And I know there are so many people in this situation, and just, wow, it makes me extremely grateful for what we have.
Absolutely,
you know? We're very, very blessed. What would you do if you weren't doing music?
Well, hard to picture doing anything other than this, but I always sort of thought I would be a writer or like a literature professor of some sort, study literature.
So now you write program
something
notes.
creative. Yeah, so I write program notes to get my little like writing fix. It's great.
What is the first recording you remember falling in love with?
Oh man, it was, so you know, like back in the day when we had like MP3 players that were like this big and you could load like
pre-iPod
10 songs, like an MP3 player.
I'm
really like dating myself now. So I remember like having that, and the only things that could fit on it, I had a recording of Jacqueline Dupre playing Elgar Concerto and also playing the Brahms E minor sonata. And like that Brahms sonata recording, I actually remember like hearing it and then being like, I can't listen to this too much because I'm gonna like get sick of it. So I had to like ration my listening, which is like a really nerdy thing to do, but I just like I was obsessed with that recording as a kid. I still am. It's a great recording.
That's cute. That's really cute. Okay, what is your favorite moment for your instrument in quartet repertoire?
There's like so many good ones. It's hard to pick. So the one that is like springing to mind right now, actually, weirdly, is at the end of Ligeti, first quartet, when it's like this whole long crazy piece, you know, one thing after another, after another, after another, and then right at the very end, like the cello gets the theme from the very beginning, but it's really low, it's like up on the C string, and it's like such a cool like C string dark like cello melody moment. I feel like that's always where the cello like sounds the best, and the quartet is just like really low. So I love that moment.
What's your coffee shop order?
Matcha latte.
Every time?
Almost every time. I've
Yeah.
gotten a little more creative now.
But if you want to splurge, that's a good
If
one.
I want to splurge and I'm like, you know, I don't need the caffeine, because sometimes it's like, I gotta get an Americano.
Right.
I just need the like the boost, but matcha latte is a good.
Rank the Bartok quartets.
Oh,
No
okay.
pressure.
Whew, I mean, they're all really good.
Yeah.
It's hard to rank, but so 6 has been my favorite for a really long time, but I think right now 5 is kind of edging above it, maybe because we're working on it so much. So I would say 5, 6, maybe 2, 4, 1, 3.
Wow, cool. Okay, what is a piece you can never get enough of? Doesn't have to be classical. It can be.
I really think this is kind of like, maybe this is a cop-out answer, but really like any Brahms, anything.
And finally, what's the best part of being in a quartet?
Definitely like the team aspect of it. Like kind of when we were talking about motivation, you know, like having 4 people who are like showing up and like giving their all. There's just like something really, really satisfying about like, you know, the 4 of us working on this common goal, and everybody wants the same thing, and everybody is putting so much effort into creating a product that we're all super, super proud of. And it's just like the, like, I don't know, the teamwork aspect of it in rehearsal, and also just like in whatever situation we happen to be thrown in, like I know that we will always like have each other's backs.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't think there's many jobs like that.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed this and got to know Hannah a little better. So thank you so much for tuning in, and see you next time.
I feel like I'm like
It's gonna be really fun.
having like a job interview.
With me?
Yeah. Rachel, I really want to join the Callisto
Are you
Quartet.
nervous around me?
You make me kind of nervous.
Okay. You ready?